Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. A few weeks ago I had a request to make a video about what my top 5 pens are, and I've got to be honest, it was quite difficult. So what I've done, I've actually split this into 2 videos. In this video it's the top 5 under 100 Aussie dollars. In a future video, in about 2 weeks time, it will be the top 5 over 100 Aussie dollars. So join me now down on the table and let's see what are my top 5 personal favourite pens under 100 Aussie dollars. Welcome down to the table. In this video I'll be fetching the pens out from the cheapest to the most expensive. I'm also limiting to only one pen from each manufacturer, because otherwise I could end up filling it with all pens from the same manufacturer. First one, Jinhao 992. One of the cheapest pens in my collection. Not a lot of ink left in here, so hopefully we'll be able to get through the writing sample. Then this will be going on the pile to be cleaned out. Small pen, be aware of that. It is very small. I have to use this posted. It's a light pen, so even though it's posted, it doesn't make a difference in terms of weight. Bit thin, as you can see there. My fingers are touching on that section. And it's a cartridge converter. I think you could possibly eyedropper this. I haven't tried it. I don't intend to. This is the Jinhao 992. It's a nice writer though, isn't it? I mean, yes, I know it's a small nib. It's got a fine nib on it. I've only been able to find this pen in a fine nib. Loads of different colours though. I've got all the transparent colours, and there's a load of solid coloured ones as well. As I said, this pen is very cheap. I paid $2.50 for this particular one. That's Aussie dollars. The other ones I've got, I paid $1.71. And they all came with free shipping. I mean, absolutely amazing value. The ink in here is by Oster. And it's Caffe Crema. Very nice brown ink. One of my favourite brown inks. Loads of shading. Can you see that coming through? Certainly once we get down onto this second line of the Caffe Crema part, you really see the shading coming through. Line variation. There's no pressure. There's with pressure. Not much difference. Don't expect it. You know, it's a small nib. It's a stiff nib. So none with, none with, none and with. I'll move the mic so you can hear the pen write. Nice pen to write with. The nib not overly stiff, but certainly not soft. Loads of colour coming through. I love the way this ink looks in this pen. It really fetches out the character of the pen. It's a small pen. It's a cheap pen. It's a pen, if you lost it, who would care? You know, you just get another one at that price. Cartridge converter works well. I say, I've always got one of these inked up, so once this is cleaned out, I'll be getting another one out and filling that up. So that's a Jinhao 992. Next up, well, I'm afraid we do take a bit of a jump in price. Next up, it's a small pen again. Just going to put this way around so the writing's the right way up. It's the Kaweco Sport. This one is in like a transparent coconut colour. Again, it's a small pen. You know, fits easy in your hand. It's a pocket pen designed to go in your pocket. But when you take the cap off and post it, you get a very nice sized pen. It's a very light pen, that's something to be aware of, but it's a nice size, it's a nice shape. Yes, a little bit on the thin side again in the section, but it's a pocket pen, it's designed to be like that. It's a small nib. Nice thing with Kaweco, loads of different nib options. On this particular one, I've actually got a 1.1 stub nib. Now I'm going to open this up. I'm opening it up carefully, because if you've seen this in other videos, I don't know why, but I have a problem with the converter. It doesn't fit very well, but it's in enough, and as long as I'm not too rough with it, it stays in there. That you can get a converter. I do have the converter, but it takes a teeny tiny little amount of ink. You could also eyedropper this. I haven't yet, but I may, once this filler's done, next time I use this pen, I may eyedropper it, because with this transparent nature, that might look quite nice. Very easy to use, very nice light pen. So this is a Kaweco Sport. And it's got a 1.1 stub nib. As I said, we have taken a jump in price. This now to buy is 41 Aussie dollars. The ink, it's by Diamine. And it's Yule log. This was part of the Inkvent series. And very nice ink. You know, let me just... It's brown, but I do see like little hints of green. Very similar to the colour that I see with Caffe Crema, but I think the Caffe Crema shades more. Line variation, so this is where we do start to see something different. It's a 1.1 stub, so going down, there's no pressure, we get the wide line. And with pressure, not much of a wider line. And going across, we've got that very thin line compared to the downward stroke, which gives us a lot of natural line variation in this, and that comes out when you're writing. Let's move the mic and write the sentence. Very nice pen. I take this with me virtually everywhere. If I'm going out, I've got a little, I would think it's something like a B6, maybe quite a small notebook, about that size. There we go, just to give you an idea. Helps if I can fetch the whole page down, about that size. And that goes in my cargo pants pocket along with this pen. So I've always got a pen and paper with me. I've got a couple of Kaweco Sports. I've got this, I've got the dark green model. Again, I will buy some other colours in the future, but what I tend to do now is I only buy pens where the colour really jumps out at me. So that's the Kaweco Sport. So next up, we're going to a Chinese-made pen and a Chinese mainland pen. This is the Majohn or Moonman M800. This is in the amber colour. There's 4 colours. There's this, there's blue, there's green, and there's purple. I've got all 4. There were also, when I got this, there were 2 nib choices. You could get a fine Moonman nib, or you could get a fine bottle nib. So I've got 2 which had the fine Moonman nibs, and 2 that had the fine bottle nibs. The nib, though, is a number 6. So one of the Moonman nibs I've already replaced with a different nib from a different manufacturer. Cartridge converter. There we go. Metal fittings. So you wouldn't eyedropper it. I just really like this pen. I like the colour. I like the shape. It's the Leonardo Memento Zero shape, very heavily inspired by, I'm not going to say a clone, I'll be generous and say heavily inspired by that. So we've got here a Majohn M800, which has got a fine, and this one is actually the Bock version. You can see the bottle nib, 2 tones there. To buy this with a Moonman nib, it costs 45 Aussie dollars. I haven't been able to find a price for a bottle nib. When I bought this pen, it was $10 more than what I paid for the Moonman nibs. The ink is by Diamine, and it's Ochre. Lovely shading ink again. See lots of that coming through already in this writing. The nib does feel a bit on the stiff side, so there's no pressure. There's with pressure. You do get a slightly wider line, so there's a little bit of flexibility in there. Not a flex pen, don't even think it is. I have to put a fair bit of pressure just to get that little bit there. With, none, and with. And we'll move the mic to write a sentence. Love writing with this pen. I love the feedback. You know, we've got a tactile feedback. We've got an audible feedback. Very pleasant to use. Really nice, comfortable pen. I quite like this section, the way the shape is. I hold my pens low down, so it's just perfect. My fingers fit there lovely. Quite an enjoyable pen. This is a pen, if they were to release another colour, it would be virtually an instant buy for me. Let's move the page up a bit. Next pen. Here we've got the TWSBI Diamond 580. It's actually the only one I've got, but I just feel I don't need another. And when I do see them coming out, but none of the colours grab me. So I tend to buy pens now because, you know, especially when I'm buying a second pen of the same type, I buy it either because it looks nice, it's got some nice colouring, or there's something different about it, something special about the nib. And I just find with this one, this transparent one, just gives me everything I need. I've got a broad nib on this. I actually bought it with a fine nib, so I do have a fine nib unit, but I found I'm getting to enjoy broad nibs more, so I bought this nib unit. I think it was about $35 for the nib unit, and it literally just screw out the old one, screw in the new. Very easy to change. Piston filling pen. Piston mechanism takes up about a third of the body. Like with the Eco takes up about half, so this is quite nice. It's a solid feeling pen, nice weight to it. You know, it's not light, but it's not heavy. I'd like the section a little bit bigger, but I'm being very picky there. Fits well in the hand. So we've got here a change from brown inks. We've got a red coloured ink now. We've got a TWSBI Diamond 580. I love these diamond facets here. Hopefully they're being caught up in the light there. So I've got a broad nib on here. I priced this up only a week ago, so to get another one of these, it would now cost 85 Aussie dollars. The ink, it's by Atrementis. And it's cherry. I actually love the colour of this ink. Again, we're seeing some shading coming through. Line variation. There's no pressure. I'm adding pressure there, so we are getting a slightly wider line. None with, none and with, none and with. I believe this is, I'm not sure if it's number 5 or maybe just slightly bigger than a number 5 nib. And I think it's made for TWSBI by Yule. We'll move the mic down to the page. It's a nice, soft feeling nib. It's not a bouncy nib. It's not a stiff nib. I would call it soft. We get very nice feedback through it. I can feel it through my fingers, going up into my wrist. Really enjoy writing with this pen. It's not scratchy. It's not glassy. It's just, I can only really say it's nice. It's just got a tactileness to it. I really enjoy using this pen. And this is a pen, I say it's the only model I've got, but most of the time this is inked up and sat in my pen case. And really it's a pen I think I should actually start using more often because it's so enjoyable. So this is the TWSBI Diamond 580. Let's move the pad up a little bit. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. You know, would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. So the final pen. This is the Narwhal Schuylkill. This is Paw Peter Navy. I've got another Schuylkill in the Crema teal, and I've got a number of other Narwhal pens. Very nice pen manufacturer. I love this material. Just look at that as I'm turning it around. Piston filling pen. It's not a transparent body though, so most of it's covered up. You do have a little ink window. Personally, I struggle with this. It's a little bit on the small side for me. I'd like to have seen it double the width, but that's just me being extremely picky. The material carries on down into the section. Section again is a nice shape, it's a nice width. Virtually the perfect sized pen for me this. Fits very nice in my hand. It's number 6 size nib. The nib is a Nahvalur made nib. Again, on some of my other ones I have changed the nib because it's a number 6 nib. I've got on the other one, I've put a Yoho broad nib. Wow, that's such a lovely combo. Very, very wet. This is nice though, this pen. This is a medium nib on here. Here you've got your filling mechanism. I'm not going to fiddle with that because we'll end up with ink all over. Now there's not much ink in here. Not sure if it shows up in that ink window. There's a little tiny bit. So we've got here a Nahvalur, which is spelled Nahvalur. Schuylkill. With a medium nib. The ink is by Noodlers. And it's Navajo Turquoise. Nice vibrant ink this. Line variation, so there's no pressure. With pressure, none. With, none. With, none. And with. Does feel quite a stiff nib. Not a lot of feedback compared to some of the others we've looked at today. We'll move the mic to write the sentence. Very nice. I enjoy using this pen. It's a very nice pen to write with. Again, you can see there we've got some shading coming through. It's a stiffish nib, not quite pencil-like. There's a tiny little bit of give to it, but it's not as soft as say like the Diamine 580. I find this enjoyable to use. It's comfortable, fits well in the hand, really nice to use. And I didn't tell you the price. The price of this is 92 Aussie dollars. So the most expensive pen, which we're expecting as we were going in increasing price order. So this is the Nahvalur Schuylkill. Just going to swap over and fetch all the pens back for one final look. So here we have my current top 5 favourite pens under 100 Aussie dollars. We've got the Jinhao 992, Kaweco Sport, Majohn M800, TWSBI Diamond 580 and the Nahvalur Schuylkill. If I was asked to pick one as my favourite pen of these 5, it would be very close between the Majohn and the TWSBI, but I think if I had to pick a winning pen, it would be the TWSBI Diamond 580. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. What are your top 5 pens? How would you pick between them? I've really struggled with this. I mean, it's like choosing your favourite child. You love them all the same, and it really does change which one you go for each day, doesn't it? Please drop your comments down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.